Netflix just released their quarterly earnings and the stock went through the roof. I own quite a bit of Netflix, so I'm pretty happy. Let's go through their quarterly slides to find out why the stock went up so much. In Q3, revenue up 15%, operating margin 30%, up from 22%, 30% operating margin. That's really impressive. The reason they keep growing is because they're pumping out bangers left and right. Really popular shows, The Perfect Couple, Tokyo Swindlers, Emily in Paris, Cobra Kai, and it seems like every week they're coming out with a new hit show. Not only is their membership going up, but the view time per member keeps going up as well. That translation is higher advertising revenue and happy customers. They added a lower tier subscription where you would receive advertisements, commercials. Ad membership up 35% quarter over quarter. I can't wait for this one, Squid Game Season 2. The first Squid Games was so awesome. They have 2 NFL games on Christmas Day. They're trying to get involved in live sports. So you can see revenue goes up each quarter, $8.5 billion in Q3 2023, up to $8.8 billion and $9.4 billion and $9.6 billion, and this quarter $9.8 billion. Next quarter is $10.1 billion, that's the forecast. The growth in Q3 was 15% when you compare Q3 2023 to Q3 2024. Operating income $2.9 billion, up from $1.9 billion. Look at those margins, almost 30%. It was 22% last year. Not only is revenue going up, but margins are going up even faster. Net income $2.4 billion, their highest ever. EPS $5.40. Streaming memberships went from 247 million to 283 million, up 14%. They added another 5 million members this quarter. The thing about their business model is cumulative. They don't have to break records every quarter. As long as they keep the members from prior quarters, it keeps growing and growing. Operating cash flow $2.3 billion, another record. Free cash flow $2.2 billion. And their shares outstanding are going down each quarter, 450 million to 438 million. They mentioned they have an audience of 600 million. Even though they have a little under 300 million members, there's 600 million people watching it because the average member is 2 people. Some members are just 1 person by themselves. Other members are families with 4, 5, 6 people. I need to watch this, The Perfect Couple, starring Nicole Kidman, 65 million views. And they have a bunch of returning series. Squid Games 2, Love is Blind Season 7, and they're doing live events, the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul boxing match. I'm not that excited about that, but I'll probably watch it. They're at the 2-year mark for their advertising plan, and that's been growing quite a bit, more than the regular plan. That accounted for 50% of signups in countries that offer ads. Operating cash flow $2.3 billion, up from $2 billion. That's just for the quarter. Free cash flow $2.2 billion. For the full year, they expect free cash flow of $6 to $6.5 billion. They bought back 2.6 million shares for $1.7 billion, and they could buy back another 3.1 billion of stock. They raised $1.8 billion in their first investment-grade bond deal, so their total debt is up to $16 billion. But net debt, that's debt minus cash, decreased from 7.4 to 6.8 billion. Here's a regional breakdown. US and Canada, revenue $4.3 billion. That's their highest ever. Paid members, 84.8 million. They added 690,000 members. That's relatively small for the US and Canada, but the average member is paying $17.06. That's actually a little less than the prior 2 quarters, but up from a year ago. Revenue in the EMEA is $3.1 billion, and they have more members, 96 million. US and Canada is 85 million. They're adding a lot more in this location, 2.2 million, but the average member spends a lot less, $11. In the US it's 17. Revenue in Latin America, 1.2 billion. Paid members, 49 million. Average revenue per member is $840, so that's kind of low. It's even lower in APAC, 731. 53 million members, 1.1 billion of revenue. But they added 2.3 million members. Revenue for the first 3 quarters of 2024 is 28.8 billion. So once they complete 2024, it'll be much higher than 2023. They already have more profit for the first 3 quarters of 2024 than all of 2023. Because they're so profitable, their margins are up to 28%. 8.1 billion of operating profit. Here's their income statement. This is for the 3rd quarter of 24. second quarter of 24, third quarter of 23. Revenue 9.8 billion, cost of revenue, these are all the expenses directly tied to generating the revenue, 5.1 billion, marketing 600 million, technology 700 million, G&A 400 million. So operating income is $1 billion higher, from 1.9 billion to 2.9 billion. Unreal how much they're growing. It is a solid revenue growth, but it's amazing operating income growth because they added $1 billion of profit. So the additional revenue is all profit. They spent 180 million of interest on their debt, a little higher than prior quarters. So their pre-tax income 2.7 billion, 339 million of taxes, net income 2.4 billion, EPS 552, and you can see their shares outstanding go down each time period. Let's look at their balance sheet. Assets 52 billion, current assets 12 billion, current liabilities 11 billion, so current ratio above 1. They have a lot of cash, 7.5 billion. Their biggest asset is content, 32 billion. Their total liabilities 30 billion. Their biggest liability is long-term debt, 14 billion. But that's not that bad since they have so much cash flow coming in. And their content assets are more than double that. So assets minus liabilities equals equity, 23 billion of equity. They raised 6 billion from selling their business, selling stock. They bought back 12 billion of their own stock, and they profited 29 billion from running their business. Let's look at a statement of cash flows. Operating cash flow, 2.3 billion. Last quarter, 1.3 billion. Last year, 2 billion. You can see they spend the most in content, 4 billion for this quarter, 4 billion last quarter. Last year, a lot less, under 3 billion. And the content sits on the balance sheet and is amortized over its useful life. They don't have much PP&E, 127 million. They did add 1.8 billion of debt. We talked about that earlier. And it looks like they used that debt to buy back stock, 1.7 billion of stock. So that's the end of the video, short and sweet. If you want to learn how to analyze financial statements, click on the video in the top right corner. Thanks for watching.